So from user requirements, now you come up with control requirements. Those are essentially similar to, actually those are not requirements anymore. Those are basically some kind of structure that.
Sorry, some kind of?
No, when you use requirements, get confused because requirements are normally what's from user, from the very top.
I think that he's not using the requirement as a software.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, when you say control requirements, really it's more like specification, right?
In this case, the control requirement is the output, not the
right.
The
yeah, that's exactly it.
So remember, when he uses the word control, he uses it kind of like an auditor would use control. Not like a computer scientist uses.
No, I'm not questioning the word about control. I'm questioning about requirements.
When Zudong is using the word requirement, he's thinking the requirement from the software engineering terminology, and in the software engineering terminology, the requirement is the input.
Yeah, it's from the
initial requirement is input. Right. That's what it is.
This is so.
Right here.
This is definitely output.
I agree. I'm not doing that. So here is the operational requirement. Here is the operational definition of the control requirement. Here I use control requirement according to this definition in this context.
Right.
The control requirement specified is a formal specification of a desired goal to be achieved by a control. What is
by a control solution.
By a control solution, I say here. Some kind of concrete control, that means control solution.
Control solution. Right. So control solution might be like the puffers at the airports, or like the X-ray scanners of containers. I mean, there's, for a given control requirement, there may be a dozen control solutions. Kenneth?
I think, since I'm coming from the audit background and I look at this, if you substitute the word control specification, that's actually what you're doing here. You're specifying the controls needed to reduce the risk of Deontic fraud.
Yeah,
I'd suggest you, instead of calling them control requirements, you call them control specifications. In auditing, that's what they're called too.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. If you say specification,
but specification gives you the impression that it comes from the user still.
Yeah.
See, the fact is no, I have
That's the challenge of the
So his basic claim is that he's computing, let me use this word, the controls. So he's computing what is needed at the control level.
Requirements.
Right. So how about specification?
Controls. So
no, because there's also control solutions.
Right.
What's happening, there's many control solutions to satisfy a given control requirement / specification.
Let me give you an example and you see the difference. Okay. The control requirement is there should be an evidence, documentary evidence, when the seller delivers goods to the carrier. There should be a documentary evidence. This is the control
of that event.
That event. Okay. This event can be evident by a paper document in the paper-based procedure. The carrier will issue, put a signature on the document and give it back to the seller. This can be done like in the CDOC. CDOC is a kind of the electronic bill of lading procedure used for international trade. And they issue a secret code, a password in the code. When the seller delivers goods to the carrier, the system issues a password to the seller to evidence that the seller has been delivered goods to the carrier. So you see the same requirement. There is a documentary evidence when the seller delivers goods to the carrier. This can be evident either by a paper document, a special paper document, with signature of the carrier, or either by a password in an electronic system, and so forth. Maybe in the future a physical token. A coin or
and there's also smart card solutions where there's a protocol between the smart cards. Okay. So there's several different solutions for that. We need a word for this though. You guys don't like requirements. You don't like specification. Come on.
So requirements,
control structures.
Your Deontic process models are basically specification, control specification. You given whatever expert provide you, they need whatever. Then you do a specification.
Right, this is
right?
specification of a deontic process.
That's
Right.
control specification.
No, it's a specification of a deontic process. It's not about control. It's just merely about what did the seller have to do, the obligation he has to do, what did the buyer have an obligation to do, and so
For
on.
instance, a deontic process model might be the transfer of land.
Do you have a
Yeah.
an example?
Yeah, I will come to that very soon. I will come to that very
Is
soon.
it-
Okay.
Is this the desired goal here to be producing something that you could use within like a CDOCS?
Sure.
to-
This is provide the
define
underlying
what-
principle, providing
Right.
the underlying principle for design a system like CDOC.
Okay.
There's a number of systems, CDOC, Bolero, and so forth.
Right.
What I do is to provide the underlying principle for design of such procedure.
Would you say that you are computing control modules?
Module still has it.
No, I
A
don't think
piece, a piece of software,
That sounds
you're
like the
producing a
solution.
piece of software, you're computing a piece of software, the aim of which is to control.
No,
No.
no.
No?
We
Those are the
specify.
control solutions.
Right.
He is talking about control requirements. You know that when we do all of the circuit structure, deep structure, show that.
Yeah.
Then you
I think could we like temporarily hold the discussion on the control
But
requirements?
just draw the thing we always do about the multiple,
Okay.
multiple control solutions in one deep structure.
Right. I just saw an example
Almost
here.
another CDOCS, okay.
No, just the boxes, just the
Right.
boxes.
Yeah, this is a deontic process. Okay. We can have very many documentary procedure. This is including control solution.
For instance, for an airline ticket, you
Right.
can have a paper ticket or you can have an e-ticket.
Right.
Maybe there's another way in the future. Maybe we're going to have an imprint or something like that. The point is, and what we're arguing is that this is, like in linguistics, they call it deep structure. This is like the deep structure behind those. So, I mean, the paper ticket is no way equivalent to the electronic. They're different media. But in what sense are they equivalent? They are deontically equivalent. And that's what we're trying to model here, is this notion of this deep deontic equivalence. So this gives a notion of what does it mean to validate that you have done this transformation. So somebody comes in with this other technology, and you say, is it the same or not? Does it do the same underlying function or not? And that's the theory we're trying to develop.
Yeah. So the question is now, he tried to capture deontic process. First,
Okay.
use whatever deontic feature method, which I will ask later. Okay. So where is the source for him to derive this deontic process?
Yeah, it's here. It's from the contract law.
Are those documents your source? You try to look at different documents, try to abstract what's common.
That's
in
right.
the document.
That's right.
So the documents, what's on your right-hand side actually is your starting point, right?
Right, for modeling the
Okay.
optic process. Right. This is
No. In that chart. In that chart.
This is?
Yeah.
Right. How to come up with here? What? There are two things. Okay.
Yeah.
In order to come up with here, you need to have a formalism. That means a language.
No.
to describe
That's
the
just a
thing.
representation. But
Okay.
what I'm saying is, where do you get this process? Where you find it?
Here, just yeah.
Okay.
Representation. Represent.
No, not
Right,
representation.
that's two things. One is the representation. The second thing is the domain knowledge. Domain knowledge. This need expert on the area. Legal expert is pressure. Right? What I do here, I try to replicate like armor the legal expert. But I
Right.
look at the specific. Here, in this case, I look at the international guides on the documentary
Okay.
procedure,
Okay.
the right, the obligation and right and so forth, in view of certain sample models.
Sure. So you have domain knowledge, whatever, from experts. So you have deontic process. And now what you try to do is this modeling, right? It's a mapping. That's the representation part, right?
This is the first step. Right, this is the first step. Come up with the deontic process.
Before that, before this deontic process, just to draw a box to the domain knowledge.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, this is domain knowledge.
Yeah. Just to draw a box
Let
to
me-
domain knowledge. Yeah.
Okay.